When we're facing any kind of significant change in our lives, it's really common to experience resistance to adapting and making the internal or even lifestyle changes that we need to make in order to flourish through that change. Or whether you're experiencing retirement or about to retire, maybe a new entrepreneurial project, empty nest, suddenly single, bankruptcy, maybe moving to a new location. When we're facing any kind of significant change in our lives, it's really common to experience resistance to adapting and making the internal or even lifestyle changes that we need to make in order to flourish through that change or to flourish beyond that change. And unless we recognize and name our feelings as resistance and to figure out how to overcome it, it can really hold us back from reaching our potential and experiencing the flourishing life that we say we want. Humans resist change because our brains perceive change as a threat to our comfort, a threat to our safety, even our stability. We don't want to feel things like uncertainty or fear and anxiety. And change can make us feel like we're losing or have lost control. And that can be super difficult to accept, even though really there's very little that we can control in our life. We just think we're in control. But like Viktor Frankl said in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, we always have the ability to choose how we respond in any given situation. Changing and making a change usually requires us to step outside of our comfort zone and probably take some risks. And even that can be stressful if we choose to see it that way. But what if we chose to see these changes as a grand adventure or experiment? How do you know if you're in resistance? Well, it feels like that feeling when you're trying to develop a new habit or learn something or start something new, and when it comes time to do it, there's something inside of you that just doesn't want to. You find other things to do. There's that voice in your head that comes up with every excuse in the book because we want to stay comfortable. We want to keep doing things the way we've always done them. That's your comfort zone. Even when we know that making that change, developing that habit, learning that skill, it's ultimately going to serve us at a higher level. But at the root of all resistance is fear. And it might be fear of the unknown, the uncertainty about the outcome of some change. And it can trigger this reluctance response. Losing control or feeling this sense of a loss of control about our environment, especially if we're moving or changing jobs. Stepping outside our comfort zone, breaking away from familiar routines, beliefs, even relationships can be really challenging and cause these resistant response. Feelings of self-doubt or inadequacy, imposter syndrome, a low self-esteem, all of those things can cause this resistance and challenge our sense of identity. Changing habits, deeply ingrained habits and behaviors will make changes difficult because they're outside of what is comfortable and familiar. Our past experiences, especially if we've had negative past experiences, they can shape our beliefs about change and cause resistance in this present moment and things we're trying to change now. So 3 steps that you can take to overcome this resistance. Well, first, we have to start by recognizing the signs of resistance, and I'll go over what those are in just a moment. Recognizing what that voice in your head might sound like if you are experiencing these. So the first one is maybe you're just too busy, and it might sound like, I don't have time to start something new. Or you procrastinate and it might sound like, I'll do that later. Or you're scared into inaction. What if I fail? Or you defer decisions. I just can't seem to make up my mind. Or you lose interest. This just isn't exciting as it was in the beginning or as I thought it would be, and I'm bored. Or maybe you're forgetful. I meant to follow through with that, but I forgot. Or maybe you're the disorganized type. I can never seem to keep track of what I need to be doing. Or you fog up, you space out. I just can't seem to focus on anything right now. Maybe you feel paralyzed in resistance. I just can't think straight and I can't make decisions. Maybe you find reasons not to act, like I can't because something. Or you're impatient. It's just taking way too long. Or you keep running into naysayers. Everyone else says I can't do it or it can't be done. So which ones of these do you recognize in yourself? I know that there's more than one or two that I can relate to. The point is to overcome resistance. It's important to identify the underlying fears and emotions that are driving it. So that's first, recognizing it. Number 2 is journaling. Journal your thoughts and your feelings about this change that you're considering or trying to make. And really be honest about what's holding you back. A perfect example of resistance is my own resistance to journaling. I actually always tell myself I don't have time. It's probably my main go-to around journaling. But I know and I have experienced for myself the power of journaling. So when I'm feeling that resistance and I'm telling myself I don't have time, I go, oh, there it is. There's that resistance again. And then I can make a conscious decision to respond in a different way that is outside of my normal behavior, which is to push it away and tell myself I don't have time for that. And that's sneaky too, because it sounds like I'm trying to get things done, right? But I know how valuable and how powerful a journaling practice is. So it's like sharpen the saw. It might feel like I'm saving time or using my time more wisely, but really, if we take that time to sharpen the saw, like Stephen Covey says in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it's worth it. Another example is if you've ever watched the TV show Jerry Seinfeld and his sidekick George, there's an episode where George decides that every decision he's made in his life was wrong. And so he decides to, from that point forward, to make the opposite decision about everything that his instinct tells him he should do. So as a result of that, of course, it's silly, but his life improved dramatically by choosing the opposite of what he would normally choose. The point is, once you identify the fear, the resistance, the next step is to address it. So for example, if you're feeling too busy or procrastinating, or you have that brain fog or the paralyzing resistance, a great way to combat those things, and something that's been a game changer for me, is to start creating a daily schedule of what you want to do that day and incorporate time for that in your day to get your new goal or habit done. Because if you start your morning planning out what you want to get done today and choose only 2 or at the most 3 top priorities for what to accomplish that day, then everything else is off the table. It's those 3 things, 2 things preferably, and then anything else, those secondary tasks or goals for your day, bonus. That's just bonus stuff. 2 or 3 top main priorities for your day, and that's what you focus on, nothing else. And then step 3 is to surround yourself with people who support your efforts. You don't have to do this alone or to feel alone in making these changes. I've created The Collective. It's a supportive community of women who are all pursuing their dreams. Together, we are ensuring our chances of successfully making this next phase of our lives the best phase. Inside this exclusive community, you would find emotional support, a place where you can share your experiences with others who are facing similar challenges, and they can help you feel less alone and actually more empowered. So to wrap it up, recognize when you're in resistance by knowing the signs so that you can choose a different response. Take some time to reflect on which signs resonate with you the most and what you need to do, what steps you need to take to overcome your resistance. And then thirdly, find your tribe. Find your community that supports you and sees the hero in you. As you might know, I believe that when we are living our best life and flourishing, there's this ripple effect that makes ourselves, our families, our communities, and then the whole world a better place. So my mission and the mission of this channel is to help midlife women with an entrepreneurial vision to get the mindset, the confidence, and the clarity that they need to experience the excitement and joy of bringing their own ideas to life and to leave their own unique mark on the world. So a small thing that you can do to support that mission is to hit the like button and subscribe so that we can reach more people in the algorithm. And if this resonated with you and you got something out of it, be sure to take a screenshot and share it out on your Instagram stories. Tag me and let me know what your biggest takeaways were, and I'll be sure to reshare it out on my story. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.